Stop the presses. You're going to absolutely love this one. Now, I think somewhere along the line, we all knew that surely as the sun comes up in the morning, at some point the official gatekeepers of truth and the arbiters of misinformation known as the White House press corps and the legacy media were going to do an about-face and declare that, hey, yeah, actually, no, we knew Joe Biden was senile the whole time he was off, and wow, yeah, there was this whole conspiracy to hide the fact and label anyone, like, for example, myself in this program, who pointed out that the man had clearly lost his marbles, well, to call them conspiracy theorists. And guess what, folks? You're going to love this because CNN's Jake Tapper, yes, that's right, Jake Tapper, is publishing a book this May called Original Sin: President Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and His Disastrous Choice to Run Again. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, this is absolutely amazing to me because Jake Tapper, again, CNN's Jake Tapper, writing a book about Joe Biden's mental decline and how it was hidden, is a bit like OJ Simpson going out looking for the real killers. It is the very definition of the great Yiddish term chutzpah, which was once defined as a defendant who kills his parents, then throws himself on the mercy of the court, saying that, oh, take pity on me, I'm an orphan. Again, CNN's Jake Tapper, hoping that we all forget how he and everybody else in the press corps basically helped lead this conspiracy over Joe Biden's condition, and then hoping that months later we all forget as they try to sell books uncovering this. I mean, look at this here. It's just one of countless examples of Jake Tapper carrying water for the Biden White House, here telling off Lara Trump and defending Joe Biden's behavior on the grounds he had, oh, no, he wasn't in decline, he just had a stutter. Yes, that old chestnut.
Every time he comes on stage or they turn to him, I'm like, Joe, can you get it out? Let's get the words out, Joe. You kind of feel bad for him.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
you are
to
no
watch somebody on stage
that's so amazing. It's so amazing to me that
try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline.
Well, when you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses diagnosing politicians from afar.
You can't make this stuff up. But, of course, it wasn't just Jake Tapper during all of this. It was, like, have a look here, Joe Scarborough on MSDNC sounding more like an apparatchik at a Communist Party meeting than a journalist interested in uncovering the truth.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
And who can forget the Washington Post accusing those who showed what was going on with Joe Biden as peddling what they called, quote, cheap fake videos taken out of context by the right-wing media. Oh, God forbid. Well, look, as you know, and as we detailed here over the last year or two, there were a million other examples just like this. But, of course, there was a bit of glasnost around the subject of Biden's condition just after that disastrous debate. Remember this?
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
But there was only just enough opening of the door to give them an out to change candidates and install Kamala Harris. Real genius move that was before slamming it shut again. And now Jake Tapper and everybody else want us to forget how they were in on this? And they want to make a buck out of supposedly exposing it? Spare me. Now, look, you're probably saying, hey, Morrow, why are you still on about this? Trump is president, Biden's gone. Don't you have Epstein lists to dig through or something? Yeah, well, here's why this is so damn important. One, if you're watching this, you know how the mainstream media brands anything it doesn't like, doesn't matter if it's true or not, as a conspiracy theory. COVID came from a lab. Conspiracy. Biden out of his mind. Super double bad conspiracy. So this whole incident gives us a great window into how this system works. But there's a second reason why this is crucial. The American mainstream media that gaslights us again and again thinks it still, after everything, has and deserves an OPEC-style monopoly on truth. And it insists on being thought of as the only ones who play it straight. This same White House press corps is absolutely furious now because the Trump administration has taken control of the clubby White House press pool to allow more independent journalists in and banned the Associated Press from White House functions over their refusal to change their style guides to stop dead-naming the Gulf of America, formerly the Gulf of Mexico. We can talk about all the different weird and offensive ways AP, once the gold standard for absolute down-the-middle accurate news, has descended into the maw of partisan hackery. But I'd also note how the White House press corps raised barely a ruckus when their pals with DNC decided to give a bunch of Gen Z social media influencers passes to the convention, as my Sky News colleague Annalise Nielsen explained at the time.
On the floor of the convention here, there was a special pit with some of the best views in the House for content creators so that they could go in and do their selfie videos and make content that's almost exclusively pro-Democrat. And they have the suites up here where we were. They get all the catering for free. They get the best seats in the House. They get special entrances and exits. And they want all the special treat. And they get access to all the best talent from the Democrats.
But that was okay because the influencers were helping the mainstream media's program beat Trump, get Kamala over the line. They also were totally okay, it seems, with reporters having their questions for the president pre-screened and given to him so as to keep Joe Biden from embarrassing himself. Remember when a camera caught this cheat sheet on film? And here's where the hypocrisy comes full circle. All these legacy media lefties were perfectly happy when there was talk of banning not the Associated Press, but our friends at Fox News from covering the White House.
As Fox radicalizes and as it becomes even more and more of a political tool, Zerwick, you wrote a column recently for The Sun about this, saying Fox should be viewed as a political tool. And that raises a question. Should it be a part of the White House press pool? You know, should it be afforded the privileges that come with news gathering? Even though they do have some news reporters at the White House, you're saying they're primarily a political tool. So should that be reassessed, Zerwick?
Listen, I really do. I think it's a discussion we need to have. Look, you're not supporting democracy. You're not supporting the larger values of this culture. They don't even stand up as a opposition party, but there's nothing journalistic in what Lachlan Murdoch said. And you know what? I say, hey, you know what? Let's take them at their word. Let's not let them on the plane.
Classic Murdoch derangement syndrome. There you have it. If it wasn't for double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all.